Today we are gonna talk about the upcoming next rotating recruitment banner, aka RRR. In this video series, we are going to give the currently newest rotating recruitment banner a closer look, and quickly analyze and rate the characters on RateUp, as well as finishing it up by evaluating the banner as a whole, to determine if it's worth rolling on it or not. Here's a quick reminder about my rating tiers: underwhelming, average, solid, strong, and last but not least, core. For some quick explanations about these tiers, please refer to this timestamp on my first rotating recruitment review. This banner runs from the 5th till the 12th of October, which as usual is only 1 week long, making carefully planning ahead on how you spend your yellow flares a very smart and important move. On RateUp by this time around, the 5 stars Vivian and Istvan and the 6 star Aurora and Gronru. Now that the general information is out of the way, let's start by first going through the 5 star characters, which in this week are 1 sniper and 1 support. First off, Vivian is a Thunder Element sniper. Her active skill deals 320% damage in a free surrounding cluster range and converts 1 tile an enemy is on to yellow. At A2, she also gains the ability to reduce all Thunder Aurorian's chain combo requirements by 1 for this round. While this isn't bad, doing some decent damage and converting only 1 enemy tile isn't the best. But the ability to reduce chain combo triggers by 1 is pretty huge, as it is a really unique effect that can help quite a lot, especially with Aurorians like Revi that have high starting chain trigger requirements. But you can unfortunately not use it that often, as this skill has a 3 turn cooldown and only lasts for 1 turn. Let's move on to her equipment. Her equip gives all Water, Thunder and Illumina Aurorians an attack bonus of 3 to 6% of Vivian's attack for 2 rounds. This triggers when you deal damage to all enemies with a chain combo. Vivian doesn't really have that high of an attack stat and also has the huge demerit of being a sniper that are infamous for being inferior to detonators in most scenarios. Now let's quickly talk about her breakthroughs. Her BT2 gives Vivian Preemptive Strike, allowing you to get an easier access to high chains right off the bat. If you really want to use Vivian on your team, this is probably a really good breakthrough to get. Otherwise, it's not really worth chasing after this. At max breakthrough, her active skill affects all enemies. This honestly sounds better on paper than it actually is, as the main reason to use her is not for her damage or the useless converting, but rather much more for her unique ability to temporarily reduce Thunder Aurorian's chain requirements. In conclusion, Vivian is basically a character that offers quite a unique skill, but otherwise doesn't really stand out. All of this makes her at least a solid character. Let's move on to the second 5 star on this banner. Istvan is the Fire Element's double chain support, which means that his active skill allows you to trigger Fire Aurorian's chain combo a second time in the round you use it. For the second chain combo, the attack of all fire characters is equal to 85% of Istvan's attack. These types of skills are often really powerful, as they are perfect to quickly burst down enemies in 1 turn. They do however have a high cooldown of 4 turns, which means that you are going to have to plan your burst turn in advance and position accordingly. The second chain being carried out with a percentage of Istvan's attack also means that you also have to invest a lot of resources into him to raise his attack and get the most out of that juicy burst turn. Besides this skill, Istvan also offers a nice debuff in his equipment that reduces the attack of enemies in a 2 surrounding cluster range after using a chain combo by up to 5%. Istvan's Breakthrough 2 upgrades his skill with Preemptive Strike. This is a really necessary BT, as it allows you to ditch the 4 turn stalling and lets you get right into bursting directly on turn 1, making him a lot more viable to use in this niche. His Breakthrough 5 reduces his active skills cooldown by 1. This is just a nice to have, but not worth chasing after BT. Because if you're going to use a double chain support, you're most likely trying to finish the fight as fast as possible, making this upgrade not really necessary. All in all double chain supports have a fairly obvious role to assist you in killing a foe in a low amount of turns. making them a bit more niche but in the end still necessary for these kinds of scenarios. They do, however, only really shine with at least BT2, reducing their overall raw value slightly. In Istvan's case, all of this still stays true, but he does also offer some extra utility, making him an easy choice for the strong tier. Last but not least, let's talk about... Gronru is a 6-star Thunder Element 4-tile converter, which, like I mention all the time, are generally the most versatile and consistent converters, as they have low 2-turn cooldowns, preemptive strike from the get-go, and allow you to strategize properly, as they don't have any kind of RNG and just convert the nearest tile of a specifically listed element. The 6-star versions of these types of converters, like Gronru, allow you to convert 2 elements instead of just 1, meaning that they are generally big upgrades to their 5-star counterparts. Gronru, unfortunately, is another patient infected with the disease called Column Chain, but thankfully, she does have a pretty good equip that grants her 1 magnetic storm per 3 rounds at the start of the battle. This makes her next chain combo deal up to 50% additional damage to one enemy, and also inflicts paralysis. Paralysis, like its name suggests, paralyzes the enemy, making them unable to dodge attacks and only allowing them to move 1 tile. This has a 50% chance to also hit another enemy. While this can definitely come in clutch and allow you to escape dangerous situations, it is in the end still RNG. Gronru does, however, have big competition, as a lot of people prefer to run Beverly over her, as she does have a better chain and hits more additional enemies with her equipment, giving her a huge edge in the damage dealing department. Gronru's breakthroughs are the standard 4-tile converter ones, meaning +1 converted tile after her skill being off cooldown last round and BT3, and +1 converted tile in general at max breakthrough. While BT3 might sound nice on paper, it is pretty negligible, as you're going to use her skill instantly every time it's up most of the time. Her max breakthrough is definitely a very strong upgrade and worth getting if you're already close to it, otherwise I would suggest not going all in on this. All of this makes Gronru a pretty easy pick for the core tier, because like I always say, at least one 4-tile converter is basically staple in almost every type of content. If you already have Beverly, however, Gronru isn't that necessary, because Thunder already has a lot of strong non-4-tile converter options, like Iridon or Nadine. In conclusion, Gronru is the highlight of the banner. Istvan is really strong for bursting down and debuffing enemies, but really wants his BT2. And Vivian can be okay if you really want to use her, but is otherwise just a nice to look at bench warmer. So, now let us answer the main question regarding this banner. Should you roll? If you still are in need of a Thunder converter or want some Istvan dupes for your burst strategies, roll at least for the guaranteed 5-star, but don't invest too much, as really good banners might come really soon, like some of the during the Tokyo Game Show revealed characters, or a lot more exciting rotating recruitment rate ups. Otherwise, just skip. Are you going to roll on this banner? If yes, I would love to hear why. If you disagree with anything or just have something to share, just comment down below, and as always, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That was all from me, have a nice day, and see you next time.